Hi, welcome back. Today we have Third Mutual Board President Rosemarie DiLorenzo with us to give us an update on everything that's going on. Welcome.
Welcome to you too. Well, I can't give you an update on everything because we don't want to be here all day.
Well, that's true.
Just some of the key things.
All right, perfect. So why don't we start off with some finances?
Yeah, actually, we've been pushing and pushing and pushing finance to say we would like to accept credit cards for more things. You know, you could pay your taxes with credit cards, and meanwhile, you can't pay for a water heater with a credit card. You can't pay for your assessment with a credit card. So now we are actually working on it, and it is going to come into fruition is finally here, and more information will be coming out.
Okay.
And the basic thing is some people might want to pay their assessments with a credit card because they can get points, and there'll be a service fee on that, just as there is like if you're paying your taxes.
Right.
But it also gives us an opportunity to, like, if you get a water heater, you can pay for it with a credit card, or you get services in your home. So it gives the residents an opportunity to do things and to manage their money in a different way. Okay. And it's also more cost effective for us, even though we might pay some fees for the credit card that we're not going to pass along, i.e. if you have a chargeable service. It just would help us because we don't have to have a lot of this billing, etc. Brad is actually going to work on a system, we're not there yet, where people will come to when they come to your home, just like if we were Sears or Home Depot and we did an installation, you could sign and pay then and there, but we're not there yet, so we don't expect that right away. So I think that's really exciting.
But you're moving in a really good direction.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really exciting. So more information will be coming out as to how to do it. Part of it is attached to the new website, but everything has to be secure, of course. Right. So I think it's going to be a really, really good thing. I don't know how people manage their money, but you might be short a little bit and just say, let me pay for it this way, let me get it done. I used to always pay my taxes, and I own 2 homes, one in here and one outside, with my credit card. And finally I said, I have like so many miles, because I got miles for it, so many miles that it was getting to be ridiculous. So now I don't. But people do different things, and it's their choice. Some people get money back. So I think it gives another choice, and that's what we're here for, to take care of the residents.
Sounds good. Sounds good. What else is happening with finances?
Well,
Audit looks like.
The other thing is, and everyone will get more information on finance, so I don't want to steal the scene from Steve, but we had our finance meeting the other day. And at our board meeting on March 21st, which is the Tuesday at 9:30, Steve gives a really good financial report. But one of the key things for us is that we had a slight dip in sales in the month of January, but sales are right back up. This February is in line with last February. And again, there'll be more information on that at the meeting, but I think that this was important. This is important. And actually, there was a letter written by a resident, because I always read those letters as soon as we get the paper, where somebody was saying, sales could go up and down. It was the month of January because people, always begin to get very concerned. And it was a great letter. I don't have his name to it, but it was a positive letter that said, be patient, sales will come back. Because sales have been steady over the past years. We do a report in the board packet that shows sales for a 3-year comparison, because we thought that was important. So it shows number of units sold, the average price per unit, and total revenue. And the units that were sold in February were actually pretty expensive ones. So our revenue is up. So that's a good thing.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Parking. You have some things regarding parking.
Yeah, well, a lot of the residents know that about 1.5 years ago, we did an extensive study, because parking is always an issue here. So we were advised to remove the red line, and the company went through and was very careful as to where we could remove red line, and some people aren't happy with it. Most people are. And we actually added some red line in places where the post office or the trash come to pick up a little bit of red line. But our new part of the plan is that we're going to remeasure the parking spaces. If you go out in the fields, if you walk around, a lot of us do, I don't walk out with a tape measure, but like some of them are 10 feet wide, some are 12 feet wide. And technically, I believe that they have to be 8.5 or 7.5, we're going to make sure that we have followed the law.
Right.
And even if we do some restriping, not, the whole place is going to be restriped, and it's only going to be in visitor parking, not in your parking garages, because that we leave alone, but in visitor parking. But even if you could do some restriping and then have a golf cart lane, little place for the golf carts. So that is the next big thing with our parking task force, which is headed by John Frankel, and Roy, whose name I could never pronounce, is also a new member of the board and a part of the team. I think we went up to one area the other night, and they said they identified that we could get 6 spaces just by doing that.
So more spaces for more cars.
And that's what
great.
we want. Yeah, that's what we want, more spaces. So that's an exciting thing, and we'll be working on it more and more. Because unfortunately, this community was built more with one car. People drove one car and bigger cars, but one car. And now people have, they're 2 people, they have 2 cars. Unfortunately, some people are 2 people and they have 3 cars, which is a lot. But we're not at this point changing any of our documents which limit the number of cars. I believe there's some limit, but we're not going to be addressing that at this point. We're trying to do everything that we can to add spaces without spending a ton of money, let's get rid of all the grass. No.
Right.
By doing practical, intelligent things, and then we'll see what happens next. So
that's good. And then they'll have the extra cart, for the cart. So perfect.
Yeah. So, and then probably at some point, because we have a new communication director, maybe we could come up with something, have you noticed that your parking spaces are really wide? Contact us, because we're not going to send somebody out walking everywhere, but I've already identified places when I do my walk. So we're going to get this done. It'll be exciting.
That's good. That's good information. Maintenance and construction, a lot going on.
Yeah, we have the units inspected every year for termites, and they came up with additional units, so we're probably going to be spending some more money on that, but we are actively working on a fumigation campaign, because we can't let that ever slide for budgetary reasons, because it would compromise the integrity of the building.
Right.
So information will be coming out on that. We've been working with a consultant on how to address the dry rot, which we have been actively addressing for the past 4 years. But we're going to be getting a plan from them on what we should do next, where we should go next, and also we're used to do an extensive amount of copper pipelining, because there was one area of the community that had more leaks, and by doing the lining we really take care of the resident and the buildings, because we don't have leaks, we don't have as many leaks. So the amount has lessened. We were probably spending $200,000 or $300,000 a year on this program, and now it's down to about $100,000, but we're still working on the report to see what has to be done.
Well, it's super important because many of the pipes are so old.
Yeah, but the thing is some of them are in such good shape, but there was this section, because we had them all plotted on a map, and there was this section where, I don't know why, but there were more leaks than ever. And, different contractors we use, you don't know.
Right.
So.
Right. And then you want to talk a little bit about construction vehicles.
Yeah, we're working very closely with security, because again, parking is always an issue, and we find that first of all, construction vehicles are not allowed to park in visitor parking, as our employees are not allowed to park in visitor parking. And it took a long time to get that taken care of, but it works well. If I ever see a vehicle, I send a picture to Brad. Wow. So that has really helped, because why should construction vehicles be parking there and the resident have to walk, down the hill to park their car? Because the most important thing is the resident. So security is working on a program where the construction vehicles will be getting a decal, a sticker, a piece of paper to put in their car, and that identifies the vehicle with the construction that's going on. Okay. So that'll be a good thing. More information will be coming out with that. So if we see a vehicle parked in the wrong place, it will be attached to the unit that is being worked on. And the owner is responsible for the conduct of their contractors. So I think that the owners will be much tougher with them and say, park over there. Now to load and unload, that's different. We don't expect them to walk, 10 blocks with a ladder. To load and unload is fine, but they just leave them there all day. Sometimes it's terrible. You'll see 3 or 4 vehicles for one construction project, and they're just all in a row. Okay. And the residents, can't park, or their visitors can't park. Right. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the residents and their company, their life.
Where should the construction vehicles park?
Well, the thing is that in most areas, there's off the immediate area, there's street parking.
Okay.
So like even in my area, there's visitor parking, there's street parking, but then there's off the cul-de-sac parking. And that's where they should be. They should be out of the cul-de-sacs.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and then we've talked before about homelessness going on.
Yeah, and Brad is working very diligently on this with our security department. And I know we're trying to get the city more involved, try to get the city to work with the other cities to see what they're doing. But for us, we've tried to address this in different ways by saying, well, why don't you just plant a lot of bougainvillea plants and let them grow and nobody could come in. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't done in the past. So now we're working on a shepherd's crook program, but we want it to be high. We don't want to be, so I think that we have to be working with a special permit. So it's going to be pretty costly, but we just have to relook at the prioritization of the different things that we're doing because the safety and security of our residents is really important. And we were talking about it yesterday because some of the directors are, well, I'm 5'9", but some of them are over 6 foot, and they said, well, you can't have something that's 6 foot because you could throw a mattress over and then throw yourself over. So we're looking at it higher than that. So we're working very closely with our staff to get that done. So
the last time we talked about it, they were talking about clearing out a lot of that brush because it was way overgrown.
And they're doing that too. Okay. Yeah, that is going on too. They're working on that because that has to be done. But it's amazing in some of the, and I know that when I said to them, well, first of all, there's no saying we're not going to do it because we have to do it. Right. But the other thing is well, let's start at the area where the fence is lower. Well, they said it's lower everywhere. So I go, all right, well then scratch that idea. So that's really important.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys are addressing that. That's an important subject for sure. And then lastly, volunteering.
Before you know it, we'll be back to the elections.
Right.
And a few of our board members are going off the board. Their term is up. We're allowed to serve 2 terms. Okay. And some of them, this is only 1 term, and some don't want to serve again because it takes a lot of time.
It's a lot of work.
And I'm trying to do everything to persuade them to say, oh, we really need you. Look at what a good, how enjoyable it is. Look at all we're doing for the community. I don't know if all of them are going to stay. Okay. So we're going to probably, I believe this year 3 members go off, and I don't know if any of them are going to come back on. All of them could reserve, which means they would have to run again. But lots of times, if you're an incumbent and people have seen you and you've done a good job, it's easy. You can get the vote. Right. So we have to start working on getting candidates. So. You're going to be providing information as to what
so if you wanted to run for a board position or if you want to volunteer
for a committee,
then you can call Catherine Laster.
Right.
Or you could send her an email at catherine.laster@vmsinc.org or call her at 949-597-4265 and, see what's available.
Well, yeah, what she would do is, and for Catherine, because she knows what pressure this is, anybody, they can come up and we would probably have applications because I believe at this upcoming board meeting, we're going to be doing the timeline. This is when the applications are due, this is when Meet the Candidates is televised, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So it's getting close.
Close, all right.
I have 1.5 more years and then I'm done because I've served 2 years. So
Well, you can start your recruiting now.
So I'm worried. I'm always concerned because it's really important. It is an extremely rewarding experience, which the board members could attest to. You form wonderful relationships.
Right.
You learn about all different. We have engineers, we have scientists, we have teachers. People's backgrounds really work together. It's a wonderful board. We have a wonderful board. We're a great board.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for all the great information.
Thank you.
Love it. And then again, if you would like to volunteer for a committee or actually run for a board position, then definitely go to that number or send an email. We'll be right back after this.